What is up, Niner Gang? Good to see you guys. I'm hearing some feedback here. 1 second. Sorry, had another window open by accident. But what is up, Niner Gang? We finally get to talk about our 53-man roster. We finally had the final cuts of August 30th throughout the NFL. And we're set, man, for the most part. The 49ers are already still making moves, man. And I said this before that they're still going to make moves. So keep an eye on that. And one of the notable things is Trey Sermon just got cut. If you guys haven't heard, Trey Sermon, who everybody kind of thought for the most part would be the bottom of the barrel quarterback or running back. And we're pretty surprised to still see him on the 49ers for a lot of us, right? But I guess he just got cut today. So, like I said, man, you guys stay tuned. The 49ers are still going to keep you on your toes. They're still going to make moves. We still got to keep an eye out for who's all getting signed to the practice squad and all that type of stuff. With Trey Sermon getting cut, I think the reason they did that because they also claimed an offensive guard. What's his name? I think it's Blake. 1 second. But yeah, they claimed an offensive guard. I'm going to find his name really quick. Yeah, Blake Hance from the Cleveland Browns. So, I mean, it's good that they added depth to the offensive line. And I guess Trey Sermon was just a roster spot waiting to get replaced, it seemed like. But it's unfortunate, man. We saw somebody very explosive get let go for that roster spot. That's JaMycal Hasty. So that was one of the guys that I really like how he looked in the preseason. And he's been on the team for a while. And I really wanted him to make the 53-man roster, but he didn't. They ended up cutting him, and I'm like, okay, maybe we will get him on the practice squad. We know how this team is with injuries and how we go through quarterbacks on a regular basis. So I really wanted that depth, man. But unfortunately, I've seen that he's been claimed by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, happy for him. Congratulations on making it to their team. And they're adding a pretty solid piece. I think he's going to help them out a lot, man. He's a veteran. He hasn't been in the league too long, but he does have to learn their new system. So we'll see how that goes. I think he's going to help them out, help their running back room out. But it's unfortunate that we don't get to have him here. And not only that, so we don't get Trey Sermon or JaMycal Hasty now. So we're down to 4 running backs. That is Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson Jr., Jordan Mason, and TDP. Now, I really like that running back room, man. I think I would have liked to have one more just for, like I mentioned before, the injuries that happen because we go through a lot of running backs throughout a season. So just security blanket, but I'm sure we'll be fine. Find some plug-and-play guys throughout the season if we have to. But like I said, we got an offensive guard. As soon as we cut Trey Sermon, we picked up an offensive guard. So that's good, man. We'll see how that goes. I already had this broadcast scheduled for 2:45, and this news kind of just came out. So as far as Blake Hance goes, I haven't gotten a chance to look into his resume for the most part. But he was with the Cleveland Browns. I didn't see any stats. I did look at his page on the NFL app, but I didn't see any stats whatsoever. So I'm guessing he was an undrafted free agent or something like that the Browns picked up, and it just didn't work out. But looks like a big guy, man. So hopefully that works out for us as far as depth. But yeah, I'm not going to go through all the cuts and all that stuff that have been happening because there's a lot of guys that got cut. I'm more going to go over how we feel about who's being kept. I think that's going to be a lot shorter of a show and a lot less detail to go through because just to begin with, um, I've said from the get-go, I think everybody's known this. There's so much talent on the 49ers, and the talent with knowing how to bring guys in as well, that we had all that depth. We knew we were probably going to have to cut a lot of talented guys that could contribute to this team. So we knew to brace ourselves for that. And sure enough, it happened. Of course, like we mentioned, JaMycal Hasty. I did like that we were able to bring Willie Snead, and while mostly I was happier about bringing in Tayshaun Gibson being on the practice squad. He made it through the waiver wires, so that was good to see. But as far as, we'll start out with the quarterbacks, I guess. The quarterbacks, of course, oh, man, I was pretty pumped to see that Sudfeld was the one that got cut. I can't talk today, man. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, Sudfeld was the one that got cut. That's the one I wanted them to cut. We kept Purdy, so that was really awesome that we didn't just stick with two quarterbacks, being Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. Man, I'm really pretty excited to see how Purdy develops in this league. Like I said before, he looks like that 2017 Garoppolo as far as the flashes we see from him. And a lot of people are talking about he's been the most consistent quarterback as well. So, I mean, that's always something good to hear. I mean, it's not good when you're comparing it to Trey Lance when he's not the most consistent quarterback. But to hear that Brock Purdy has been the most consistent quarterback in training camp, that's pretty good to hear. And I'm really glad that we kept him, as well as Garoppolo. I know a lot of fans weren't happy to see it, but he knows the offense. He's, at the end of the day, he's also an asset still. We haven't traded him yet, but that's not to say we aren't going to trade him during the season. So fans who are disappointed about that restructure, don't be. He's still going to be an asset, just like Trey Sermon was a roster spot, how we just talked about, and we ended up using his roster spot to sign an offensive guard just today. That can still happen with Jimmy Garoppolo. And at the end of the day, worst comes to worst, he's an insurance policy. We've shown that we can win with him. To be honest, I'm really I want to see what Brock Purdy can bring to this team. How much winning, what kind of winning percentage can he bring to this team as opposed to Jimmy Garoppolo? We've got Brian Culp here in the comments. What's up, Brian? Good to see you today, bro. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, that's the quarterback room. And I don't know if you guys have seen the last video that I just posted. I saw on Trey Lance's story that he seemed pretty excited. I know a lot of people were speculating on, I guess he had stopped following Jimmy Garoppolo on Instagram and vice versa. I don't know what all that was about, or if they were even following each other in the first place. I'm sure they were. We see the embraces and everything that were happening last year on the sidelines between those two. So, yeah, Trey Lance, he posted on his story, he tagged Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy in their quarterback room. And he said, LFG, I mean, let's effing go. We got Brian here. Every day I'm alive is a great day. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that, bro. Every day we get to wake up is another opportunity. But that's good. But yeah, so Trey Lance doesn't seem too down about the Jimmy Garoppolo signing. Now, that's what he's putting out there on social media. Who knows what's really going on in that head, but I don't think he's too worried about it, man. He's a confident guy. But yeah, man, this 53-man roster, I really like what I'm seeing. For the most part, we kind of saw most of what happened. We saw that coming. Kyle Juszczyk being that sixth? Yeah, he's that sixth running back. Of course, Kyle Juszczyk's going to be on the team. Now, as far as receivers, we got Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, Ray McLeod, and Danny Gray. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. I called this one to the T once again. Now, I said if they were going to keep 6 receivers, that they would probably keep Malik Turner. I haven't seen what's happened with him yet, but I really like this receiver room that I'm seeing as of right now. This is, like I said, what I called prior to the cuts. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, Ray McCloud, and Danny Gray. Reason being, Ray McCloud and Danny Gray. Ray McCloud as a punt return specialist, as well as he has that playmaking ability with just being an offensive weapon on those go-around routes and all that type of stuff. And both him and Danny Gray are pretty fast. I know Ray McCloud has that fumbling issue, but he seemed pretty solid in the preseason, so I like that. And then Jawan Jennings, I knew they would keep him. You can't just replace him with a rookie and somebody who just got here who has a fumbling issue. Yeah, he hasn't had the greatest training camp so far, but Jawan Jennings is a big receiver, man. He helps in that run game. And what are we going to go to first? We're going to go to that run game, right? So our receivers here, they have to be able to block in that run game. And I think it was actually Jennings who said it. I forget. What is it? No block, no rock. Yeah, that's what it was. So these players know it, man. If they don't know how to block in the run game, they're not getting the ball, because that's going to tie into the other aspect of play action, right? Every time they pretend like they're going to block and then they end up running for a route, getting run formations and stuff like that. And it's going to tie into them getting the ball more, getting more opportunities. But for tight ends, I'm kind of surprised on this one. We kept George Kittle, Ross Dwelley, and Charlie Warner. Charlie Warner being that surprise for me. And also, actually, I'm a little surprised by the Ross Dwelley thing. There was a lot of people that said we probably wouldn't keep Ross Dwelley. I was always in that Ross Dwelley camp, thinking that we should keep him, and glad we did. He's got really good hands, and we saw in the preseason when Lance threw that short throw to Ross Dwelley, it was overthrown really high. And, of course, Trey Lance throws it pretty hard. So, but Ross Dwelley made that catch, man, and he made it look like a routine catch. And if that were anybody else, maybe they don't catch it. If it was George Kittle, probably most likely. But if it was anybody else, they probably don't catch it, because Ross Dwelley's pretty tall. So not only did he have to extend, but he has that height advantage. But Charlie Warner, I'm surprised by that one. I know we heard some good things, and he's been on this team, but I thought Tyler Kroft would be that guy. Reason that I think they kept Charlie Warner is just, again, for that run game. He's one of the better blockers in the tight end room, so I think that plays into it. And he's pretty good at catching. Not the greatest route runner, but he's a good receiver, I guess. Now moving on to the offensive line. And if any of you guys have any input on what's going on here, I did put the link in the comments. If you guys want to call in or just comment, it's up to you guys. But I would really appreciate the input and the just different perspective. See what you guys think about all this. Like I said, I'm pretty happy about this 53-man roster for the most part. I think my biggest issue was just that running back room. It's very unfortunate to see JaMycal Hasty go. And most of these positions, they played out perfectly in what I wanted to see out of this team. And I know a lot of people are going to have their criticisms, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty confident in this regime, man. I think they've shown us that they can build a roster full of talent. I mean, they got here with basically nothing, right? Who did they have? They had Jimmy Ward and Dante Johnson when they got here. They had Navarro Bowman, but they released him. Colin Kaepernick, they let him go. And they started a whole nother team, man. And we've, within the span of 3 years, an NFC championship and a Super Bowl. So, and that's with Jimmy Garoppolo. No offense to him, but him holding us back Maybe not so much in the regular season, but he definitely holds us back in the postseason, man. In those playoff games, he just does not show up for whatever reason. Um, uh, but yeah, man, I'm pretty confident in this regime. They've gained my confidence as far as being able to build a roster. And here we go as well. We got Brian in here talking about he's really excited about the roster. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't think there's too many negatives. It's just hard to see guys go that are talented that we know can contribute to this team. I would like to see the NFL kind of expand on the 53-man roster, maybe go to like at least a 60-man roster for now, especially with how people have talked about like the season is longer now and they're looking to extend it more, especially like with comments from George Kittle talking about there should be another bye week within the season. I do agree with that, man. If we can see, here's the thing. I do like to see teams have their best on game day, right? And a lot of times we don't get to see that with injury. These guys get another week of rest within the season. I think that'd be a good thing for the players and for the fans, because one of the reasons they made it a 17-game season is football season's really short. I mean, for the players, it doesn't seem that way because, you know, they're brutalizing their bodies every week. But man, for fans, like, think about the off season. The Super Bowl ends, or even when your team gets knocked out of playoff contention or whatever, the season ends for your team. It's a really long wait till the beginning of the new season. And adding another game would be really cool, but they would definitely have to add another bye week, I think, just like George Kittle was saying. And then what also plays into that is, like I'm talking about, with the 60-man roster, if we were to do that, I think is a good idea. Plus, it helps more players get paid, man. I think there should be more of a split up of the wealth. Let's see, what have we got here in the comments? Yes, sir, you have to block to get the rock. Hasty is good, but his time has come. Yeah, well, I don't know if you heard, Brian, but he got signed by the Jaguars, and I think he's going to help them out. As far as the Niners, yeah, his time has definitely come, unfortunately. But he was looking very explosive. I'm sad to see him go, man. He looked like he had improved from the past couple years. I don't think I've ever really seen him be that explosive as now. Granted, he was playing with the second and third stringers, so there is that. Typically, when he plays in the regular season, it's against starters, of course, right? But this is definitely, as far as what I have seen, the most explosive he's ever looked. So I was sad to see him go. I wanted to see what he could do this season. So that sucks. Sermon only made the team because of his draft selections. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Roster politics. But again, I don't know if you heard, he just got cut, and he was replaced with an offensive guard from the Browns. And not so sad to see him go. But like I said, I mean, it just thins out our running back room more. I thought we were going to keep 5. And they probably, I don't know if they thought that JaMycal Hasty was going to make it through the waivers. I'm kind of assuming that's what they thought. Because I don't know if they were planning on cutting Sermon and acquiring another player through waivers to begin with. It seems like that was the plan. But I think they were planning on bringing Hasty back, and it just didn't work out that way. So, yeah, I'm not so sad to see Sermon go. It just sucks that it's thinning out that running back room even more with somebody who's been here versus now. If we have some injuries and we have to bring somebody else in, it's going to be somebody who probably doesn't know the playbook. So that's the sucky part about both of those moves right there. Let me know what you think about that. Yeah, I also think, yeah, man, it's obvious. I'm really surprised on how little of playtime that Ross Dwelly gets. He's got really good hands, and whenever George Kittle has missed time, bro, Ross Dwelly's that guy. He steps up. Who I can't think of anybody else, not even Vance McDonald when he was here. I can't think of anybody else that steps up like Ross Dwelly when George Kittle misses games, man. He's super clutch. He's a huge red zone threat. He's a big body guy. He's long, man. He's got long reach. He's got a big catch radius, and his hands are really good. It's one thing if you have a huge catch radius and you have sucky hands, and the ball's just going to go right through your hands. But he has a huge catch radius. He's flexible. He's been here, and he has great hands, man. So I'm super glad they kept Ross Dwelly. Charlie Warner, I'm not so excited about, but like I said, he's a good blocker. So of course we need good blocking tight ends, and he's a good receiver. So we have seen him make some catches. He's not a wimp. I want more preseason games. So if you want more preseason games, does that mean you want to take that? Because I know we have a huge gap here between the last preseason game and the regular season game, our first regular season game. Does that mean you want to take another regular season game off of the schedule to put it back on the preseason? Because I know they're not going to do that. Now, just to add another preseason game, I don't think they're going to do that, man. The players definitely don't want to do that. A lot of them, other than the guys that aren't solidified on the roster, for the rest of the guys, preseason games are very meaningless. So I don't know, man. I think 3 is kind of the sweet spot, if I'm being honest, just because we do need a game, maybe 2, for our starters to get out there and get acclimated with, getting back into the groove of things before the regular season starts. But then the other 1 or 2 games for the guys that aren't solidified on the roster. So, and then it prolongs us more from getting into the regular season, which is where I want to be. I'm excited for regular season football. So I definitely don't think they would add another preseason game. I think it's kind of set as far as that goes. Now, the thing is, if they add another regular season game, like there has been talks about, 18 games in a season, do they add another preseason game? Do they leave it as is? Or do they take that preseason slot like they did the last time where it was 16 games and 4 preseason games, taking 1 preseason game and turning it into a regular season game? Now, would they do that to where it's only 2 preseason games and 18 regular season games, or would they leave it at 3 preseason games and just add another regular season game? I think 3 preseason games is a sweet spot. Lowest you could go for sure is 2, man. But let me go to this other comment. Yeah, they used to have 6 preseason games. Ooh, that's wild. And that's probably why those guys were so tough back then, man. I don't know what it is with guys in these injuries. I know they're a lot bigger guys. When I used to play, I never got injured. I used to roll my ankle sometimes, but you can kind of walk that off, be sore for a day or 2 and come back. But I've had a thing where I've kind of always know how to take or avoid hits and kind of roll with I don't know how to explain it, but like, for example, when I ride horses, I remember I got on this crazy horse named Bullseye. This guy took off out of nowhere and stopped. He was running full speed and stopped because he got to the herd of the horses. So I go flying pretty much face first, doing a Superman through the air, but I knew how to fall. And so I ended up diving through the air like this and landing on the ground, rolling. And I jumped up and landed on my feet. And everybody was like, oh shit. And then, but they saw I stuck the landing. It was super funny. And everybody just, as soon as I got up, they started clapping instead of being like, oh, are you okay? They're like, They're like, yeah. It was like one of those Olympic things where they hold up the scorecards like 10 out of 10, whatever. It was super funny, but I don't know if these guys don't know how to roll with the hits and stuff like that too. Maybe they need to take some more boxing classes or what. But yeah, a lot of guys get hurt, man. But the preseason games, the 6 preseason games, that's definitely too many. But man, that's tough because of course with this regime we see way too many injuries. So does that play into it to where the body isn't toughened up enough before the regular season starts? But I definitely would not want to see 6 preseason games unless because I want to see our starters, man. Um, that would just be I don't know, but I guess it's football at the end of the day, and we get to watch football. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. His time, well, of course, you know what? I'm gonna go back to that because, man, the whole thing with the injuries, and of course that's why I'm happy we keep Garoppolo. Is this team is just riddled with injury every year, and I don't understand what the remedy is going to be for that. So 6 preseason, I don't know if the preseason games play a part in that and just letting the starters play more in the preseason game. But like we saw last year, Trey Lance did break his finger, and that was pretty ugly to see on that Raiders helmet when he threw. But that's a freak accident, Of course, when you're putting players in more games, you're adding that element of basically anything can happen, and that's good or bad things, right? So, yeah, I don't think I'm in favor of more preseason games. They do got to change something in practice, though. I know one thing that's been talked about is bringing in one of the staff members from the Rams. I guess ever since the new coach showed up in Vikings to the Vikings, he brought the staff member from the Rams, and the Rams have apparently been known to be a very healthy team when it's time to go. So they're doing something over there that is not going on in 49ers training camp, apparently. So we need to bring an insider in, probably. But apparently it's working out for the Vikings so far, man. I haven't heard any news out of there as far as injuries, and they've been a pretty healthy team thus far. But let's see. His time with the Niners is up. Yes, he will help the Jaguars. Yeah, I agree. That's we're talking about JaMycal Hasty there. Yeah, man. Young quarterback over there. JaMycal Hasty is a very good check down running back. So, man, he's really going to help. What's his name? Why am I forgetting his name right now? That first round draft pick quarterback they got over there. Sunshine. What the hell? Trevor Lawrence. I swear, my mind just goes blank sometimes. I took too many punches to the head. I don't know if I told you guys, but I'm a professional boxer as well. So I've taken a lot of shots to the head. I'm a football player as well. So it's a lot of head concut. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. 49ers mug. Yeah. But yeah, man, I think JaMycal Hasty is really going to help Trevor Lawrence over there. He's a very good check down and just a receiving third down back in to begin with. He's looking really explosive, like we said. So I'm gonna keep a lookout for him, definitely. We'll see if he's just gonna be on the practice squad or what he's gonna be for them. Maybe a third and bump himself up to second string. Chris Reeves used to ride horses. The true Superman was paralyzed by a horse accident. Yeah, man. See, that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna jump on a horse, especially like the way me and my guys were, we break horses and stuff like that. So if you're gonna get on a horse, you better know how to fall, man. That's one of my gifts. Really good at juking and really good at knowing how to take a hit, going with the hit, or I'm not a big guy, so I wasn't trying to truck people. I knew that wasn't my strength. So sometimes you just got to know how to roll with what's right in front of you, and it's got to be quick too, of course, right? It's the NFL. Football's very fast. Sometimes you're blindsided, so you just got to be ready at all times, gritting your teeth, bite down on that mouthpiece at all times. You never know when a hit is coming. It's like boxing, man. But yeah, you got to be very careful with horses, man. They're some of the most beautiful creatures we are gifted with on to have on this planet, but things can go very sideways very quickly. So I know most people are pretty careful and scared about that, with good reason. With good reason, yeah. Trevor Lawrence, but I guess we'll move on to the offensive line now. Um, uh, let me get over here to the offensive line. So we kept, of course, Trent Williams. Of course, we got Aaron Banks. Now, Aaron Banks, he's playing at left guard, right? One of the things I was really happy to hear about is because we've been talking about Jason Poe looking really good and kind of he's stepping up little by little. He's moving up in the ranks, and now he's been taking starting reps behind Aaron Banks at left guard. So it's really cool that because I was worried when they released Poe. I thought they might just keep him to begin with, but they ended up letting him go through the waivers, and he made it, man. And so now he's on the practice squad. So that's very cool to hear. So him and Aaron Banks are going to be competing for that left guard spot. We got Jake Brendels at center right now, while Brunskill is rehabbing from his injury. And I don't know if you guys heard me talking about this before. Brunskill, he's back, but he's been snapping for Garoppolo back in the background. So he's been the center over there for Garoppolo. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty funny before we found out that Garoppolo was here to stay for now, right? But as far as Brunskill and Jake Brendel go, I'm curious to see once Brunskill's ready to go, who's going to keep that starting role for now. But as of right now, like I said, it's Jake Brendel. We'll see what's going to go on with Brunskill, man. But I'm pretty confident in both of those guys for now. Brendel's shown some good things in the preseason. Brunskill's always been a very solid guy. He's like the Dante Johnson of the offensive line. And I was very surprised to see Dante Johnson go. I haven't seen any news on him yet, if he's been picked up on the waiver wire or not. But he's that Swiss Army knife on the defensive backside of the ball. So I'm definitely I've been expecting him to get signed to the practice squad. I don't think anybody else would pick him up. If they have, I haven't heard about it yet. I know with JaMycal Hasty, I had to go and look for it just because that was something that I was interested in, if he was going to be able to come on our practice squad. That's the only reason I found out that he got picked up by the Jaguars. I went and looked for it. So Dante Johnson, I'm going to have to look on that, check it out. But Daniel Brown type of Swiss Army knife on the offensive line. So if you don't end up being the starting guy for center, then at least he can play these other positions on the offensive line. So that's cool. He's like 5 guys in one, man. So that's pretty cool to hear. That he's still going to be on the team, at least for now. We've got Spencer Burford. We've got and Burford, he's been doing pretty good. Him and Poe were the 2 guys that went with Trent Williams to go train during the offseason, right? And so we were hearing pretty good things from both of them. It sounded like that helped them progress into the roles that they're playing now on the team. So that's pretty great. Hopefully he continues to get better. We got Mike McGlinchey. We'll see how slow we take it with him. You might as well. I don't think he's going to be very useful to us if he's hurt and playing hurt. So very curious to see how slow they play it with him. We got Jalen Moore, Colton McKivitz, Nick Zakel, and Daniel Brunskill. So those other guys, and that sounds pretty okay for now. It's good that we kept Jason Poe, but of course, we're gonna have to wait till we actually game plan. I know a lot of people are worried about what we've seen in that last preseason game with the offensive line. But you guys got to remember there were 2 other preseason games we got to watch, and they definitely looked a lot better in those other 2 preseason games than the last one against the Texans. But you guys have to remember as well that Kyle Shanahan's not showing his hand at the table just yet. He's going to wait till the regular season. So I'm very curious to see with a game plan how this offensive line looks as a unit. So we're going to find out, man, in crunch time during that Bears game. So hold all the criticisms for now. Like I said, stay confident in this regime, man. These coaches, these John Lynch, I think they know what they're doing. I don't think they would put Trey Lance in a position to fail. You know, they spent a lot up to go get him. So I think everything's going to be all right as far as the offensive line. Now, it might take a little while to get acclimated to where we get the ball rolling and they become like a unit, you know, if you know what I mean. Like, they kind of know what each other's thinking and they start to work as a unit instead of individual players. Thus far, they've been working like more individually in that mindset of they just kind of have to try and make the team, but now they get to build that chemistry and become a unit during the regular season. So we're going to definitely keep an eye on that. As of right now, a lot of people are worried, like I said, but I think we'll be all right, man. Especially since we're going to be running the ball so much, most likely. That's the way it's looked so far. So don't worry, guys. We'll be all right. Linebackers, Fred Warner. We got Azeez Al-Shaair, Dre Greenlaw, Oren Burks, Curtis Robinson, and Demetrius Flanagan Falls. Now, McCreary Ball was a guy that didn't make it. I thought he was either going to be a guy that made it or that would get traded. I haven't seen what's gone on with him during the waiver wire. So, but I haven't seen him get signed to the practice squad yet as well. So we might have just lost McCreary Ball, man. And he's a very good linebacker. So that's why I was thinking we're going to get some capital for him as far as trade. But as of right now, that's not the case. But, of course, we're very confident in that linebacker room. Now, moving on to the cornerbacks, there was something I was surprised about here. We got Charvarius Ward, Emmanuel Mosley, Samuel Womack, Diamador Lenore, and Ambry Thomas. Now, the one I'm surprised about is Ambry Thomas. And that's kind of like a yes and no type thing. Of course, he's been here, so he knows what's going on. And I have said before that, yes, even though he's struggled very much thus far, I think he just needs to get his confidence back or something, kind of like that whole situation with Ahkello Witherspoon. Apparently, he's gotten his confidence back, and he's playing really good with the Steelers right now. He used to play good for us when he had confidence. And then when he would make a couple bad plays, he just turned into a Debbie Downer type cornerback. So it seemed like Ambry Thomas has kind of been going through that same stuff, and it just seems like the staff is pretty confident in him being able to come back and do something. Because the other guy that was kind of taking his spot and moving ahead of Ambry Thomas was Crawley. What's his first name again? I don't know. I remember his first name, but Crawley, the cornerback, he was taking reps ahead of Ambry Thomas with all the bad things that were going on there. So I was surprised to see them let him go. So keeping Ambry Thomas was the only surprise for me as cornerbacks. Of course, Samuel Womack looking like a baller, man. Our other outside cornerbacks looking great. And then Diamador Lenore's been stepping up and looking really good. So that was awesome. But moving on to the safeties, we've got Talanoa Hufanga, Tarvarius Moore, George Odom, and Jimmy Ward. Now, this one struck me odd because Tarvarius Moore hasn't been looking good. And I was very curious to see what happened with Tayshaun Gibson. But luckily, we were able to sign him to the practice squad, like I mentioned earlier. So, hell yeah, man, we got some good safety play as of right now. We'll see what goes on. We're still making moves. So you guys continue to keep an eye on that. I know I am. I thought Tarvarius Moore was going to be the guy to go to practice squad, but he's been here for longer, so there's that. I'm assuming that's what's going on there, and he's coming back from injury, so maybe he just kind of needs a little while to get his feet back under him. We'll see how it goes with Tayshawn Gibson, man. He's a playmaker, so yeah, man. I think we're looking pretty good at the safety spot. George Odom's been looking good. I don't know how many reps he's going to take on special teams now that he's it seems like as of right now, Tarvarius Moore, they have him listed opposite of Hufanga as the starter. But from my understanding, in practice, George Odom has actually been that guy. And that's as of recently. That's not been throughout the whole training camp, of course. Now we'll see if Jimmy Ward ends up making it back from injury, coming back in week 1 of the regular season. But the thing is, one of the things I saw, if you guys haven't seen this yet, I saw that Jimmy Ward, there's a possibility of him getting put on the PUP list. And if he gets put on there, he won't be available for the first 4 weeks of the regular season, just like Jason Verrett. So if they end up doing that, he's going to be over there with Jason Verrett. I don't think they've made that decision yet. But I don't think that's a good thing, man, because we got 2 easy games in the beginning. I think they should just let Jimmy Ward rest for those first 2 games between the Bears and with the Bears and the Seahawks. But then we probably got a tough opponent in the Broncos, man. They like to run the ball. They're like a Seahawks type of team. And then it just adds to it that Russell Wilson is there, and he's played against the 49ers so much. So he gets to help them game plan for the game against the 49ers, right? So, and then, of course, Russell Wilson has a big arm. He likes to throw deep. So I think we might need Jimmy Ward back for that game. But we're definitely going to get to see what George Odom and Tarvarius Moore get to do at that second spot. I don't know how good Talanoa Hufanga is going to do defending against a deep ball and having to run guys down and keep up with them. I'm not too confident in that. But as far as Tarvarius Moore and George Odom, one of those guys picking up the slack, they're a little bit faster, man. So they might do all right in place of Ward, but of course we're more confident with Ward being back there. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that, see how that goes, man. I forget who we play week 4. I have to double check on that, but I know we play the Broncos week 3. So we definitely need some solid safety play, I think. I think week 4 might have been the Rams game. I might be tripping. I'm sorry. Now, the specialists, the kickers, we've got Robbie Gould, of course, and Mitch Wishnowsky. I think that's a given, right? I don't think anybody's going to be surprised either way with that. And we've got Tabor Pepper as the long snapper. Again, I think everybody, for the most part, knew what we had there. So we're not making moves there. So as of right now, you know who was pretty cool, though, last season? I was kind of sorry to see him go was what's his name? Joey Sly. I think he made, what did he make, like a 55 or a 60-yard field goal? That was pretty badass. And that was one of the things when Robbie Gould got hurt and we had to start bringing in other kickers. And they were talking about Joey Sly was that type of guy that can kick the ball like, I don't know, 70 yards or whatever. Now, what his longest field goal is, I don't know. I don't remember, but I remember it was something like they were saying this dude has a leg, man. And we actually got to see it, man. And then they cut him like the very next week or after that game, like right after that game, they ended up cutting him after he made that badass field goal. I was like, no. But I understand. See, and this is, man, that's the hard part of having just a 53-man roster. I really think they need to expand that. Um, One of the things I don't like about it is like, okay, for the 49ers, for example, we'll just use them for an example. We bring in all this talent, man. Our regime, our staff, they know how to bring in talent. They know how to develop talent. And I don't think it's fair that other teams get to see that in preseason and then just get to put their hand in the bowl, so to speak. Like, um, I don't think it's fair that we bring these guys in. We're the eye for the talent and everything. We develop them, and then you guys get to have them because we only get to keep 53 of these guys. I don't think that's fair at all. I really don't like the way that is. And then, like, for example, like a position like wide receiver, you have 3 receiver sets, 2 receiver sets, whatever. You get up to 4, up to 5 receiver sets. Okay. So, and you only get to keep like typically what, five, maybe 6 receivers. That's all your starting receivers. All the receivers on your roster, your game day roster, are on the field. If one of them gets hurt, you no longer get to run your offense the way you want to. Right? So if you have 5 receivers on your roster on game day and one of them gets hurt, but you're in a position where you need to run a 5 receiver set or a 4 receiver set, all your guys are on the field and you can't keep them fresh. I don't know. I definitely think like how Brian was talking about the preseason, getting putting another preseason game or 2 in there or whatever. I think more needs to be taken into consideration with that roster expansion, man. I really don't like any of that. Like, I just see nothing but negative, and kind of spread the wealth a little more too, man. These guys bust their ass, they make it past college, and then only a certain amount of them get to make it on the roster, and the practice squad and all that type of stuff. And then the rest of them have to go home or like, do whatever they do. So it gives more talented guys an opportunity to stay employed in what they love and what they've worked so hard at their whole lives. Because these guys have been doing this their whole lives, man. This is a long time. A lot of these guys started from Pop Warner and all that stuff as little kids. So it should definitely, because I don't know, it's super crazy to me. Like, just think about it. If you add even just one more roster spot, there's 32 teams. That's 32 more guys that have the chance to they just have the opportunity to have a better life. But that's my thoughts on that. Let me see what we've got here from Brian. Special teams will be a bunch of games this year. Oh, we'll win a bunch of games this year. Maybe as far as field goals, if that I think that's part of what you mean. But they're definitely, I don't think they're gonna win us a bunch of games. Robbie Gould's always been a really solid guy as far as field goals go. Like, I don't think that's been an issue. Of course, it's been like things that happen like in the Seahawks game where they run that punt fake and run it in for a touchdown. And Josh Norman, when did Josh Norman? I think it was during the Cowboys game. He let that fake punt go for first down. Oh my God, that was so stupid. I don't think they're going to be the reason we lose games. Definitely, for sure, because that was probably the main reason we lost that Seahawks game was the special teams. And I think it's just going to be better and just solid. I don't think it's now. Maybe I think just Robbie Gould in the end of games, kicking field goals and winning us the game like that. But man, if Trey Lance gets his ball rolling, man, and he lives up to the potential that I see, I can see this team blowing a lot of teams out, a lot of teams that people are iffy about that we might lose this year. I think we can blow a lot of these teams out, man. Definitely with his potential and him staying consistent. is going to play a role in it. Don't make stupid mistakes. But everybody's going to make mistakes. He's just not going to. You just can't make the big ones and the big moments. Like, oh man, one of the main ones that I always go back to is like Garoppolo during that Packers game. And Garoppolo was doing really good in that game, man. I think he was outplaying Aaron Rodgers for the better part of the game. And he ends up leading a good drive down the field, man. And we're in the end zone. We're getting into the end zone. And he just throws that boneheaded interception that really, if anything, if he felt it was too tight of a window, you should just throw that ball away, man. He had the opportunity to run further towards the sideline. He didn't have to take a sack or anything like that. He was away from the defenders. So just can't make mistakes like that, especially in playoff games, man. Oh, my God. Add more roster spots, more bye weeks, and preseason games. More roster spots, more bye weeks. Well, I would say one bye week. Yeah. Too many bye weeks. I don't know. Maybe another 2 bye weeks for an 18-game season. Because, of course, when George Kittle came out with that comment, everybody's talking about it. And they're like, the Players Association, if they were to go in and try and negotiate that with the NFL, then, of course, the NFL is going to want something in return. Like, hey, you guys get another bye week, then okay, we're going to add another regular season game. So that's how that would play out, being an 18-game season. Now, like I said, I would keep it at 3 preseason games, but probably 4 at most. I don't know how many preseason games you would want. Let me know what you're thinking. Do you want 4? Do you want 5? What do you think? I think 4 would be the most we should do. Just because, like I said, when you add more games to anything, it's going to just add that variable of anything can happen. And like I said, man, Trey Lance got hurt in one of the preseason games last year, and there was only 3 last year, and he had already gotten hurt. And a lot of people were super worried about this preseason. Hey, Kyle Shanahan better not play Trey Lance too long, because then he might get hurt. And then, of course, everybody was ready with their pitchforks in case Kyle Shanahan played Trey Lance too long. And even if he didn't, everybody's going to judge. They've got a magnifying glass on Kyle Shanahan. It's unfortunate, man, because we really want, like, I know I do. I would love to see Trey Lance get a lot more reps, be able to play a lot longer. But then you're like, man, I really hope he doesn't get hurt. But the good thing is that he is showing flashes of being able to protect himself more this preseason. I know I talked about, like, in the first preseason game, something he had never done before, and something I talked about before the preseason started was his sliding ability now. He said he was really happy to work on it and be something that he was coming into the game thinking about, and he was boasting to the other players like, hey, man, I'm going to try and slide this game if I have to, if I get the opportunity. So that was great to see. He's learning how to protect himself. He's listening to the fans, to the beat writers, whoever he's listening to. Apparently he's listening to the right people, because everybody wants him to protect himself. But let me see. Special teams will be better. The upgrade to the kick return and punt return game will be huge. I agree, man. And that's why I'm really curious to see if they keep Malik Turner as well. Just his depth behind while he's in that last preseason game, he was looking in the last 2, I should say. I don't remember him showing too much in the first one, but he was looking really good just as a receiver. Now, him adding depth as the punt returner for Ray McCloud, because, yeah, I agree that the kick return and punt return game will be huge. Ray McCloud's going to most likely be that guy that's going to be the difference maker, right? Now, he has the problem of fumbling. I know he didn't really show that this preseason. I know he had that one fumble, but that was kind of like you can't rag on him really for that, because that was like a hospital ball, and he got hit as soon as he caught the ball. So and then, like, it was so close that They couldn't even tell if it was a fumble. They had to review it a bunch of times on the video. So maybe that's something he's fixed. I know this team, this staff has been, okay. So this staff, we had a lot of changes, but I don't know who was doing it, but they definitely helped some of these guys like Mostert work on their fumble, their problem with fumbling. So they've probably been working on that with Ray McLeod as well. So if that's something that he's cleaned up, man, yeah, I agree with Brian that this kick return game in general is probably going to be pretty awesome to see, man. I'm ready to see some punt returns, some kick returns go for touchdowns again, man. We haven't seen that in a long time, like on a consistent basis. It seemed like we used to get at least 2 a season back in the day. I don't know if I'm tripping, but for me, that's what I remember. And then Brian's talking about the preseason. He would like to see it get extended to 6. I kind of touched on that already on my feelings. Just the variable of injury, man. Of course, I love more football. The more football, the better. The more playing time we get to see of the starters, for me, the better as a fan. I'm sure for you as well, Brian, for all of us, we just want to see 49er football, right? In general, like I would love to be able to, because I'm in Arizona, I would love to be able to stream like training camp and stuff when I can't be there. So hopefully I'm there next season, but I would love to be able to just watch them stream the training camp. That'd be awesome. But mini camp and training camp would start sooner. Yeah, maybe it would help with the injuries, man. Maybe it would toughen up these guys' bodies and just toughen them up in general. Apparently Trey Sermon, I don't know why they couldn't toughen him up. He didn't seem like he like taking hits. Real dancey like that guy, huh? Preseason games should always be sold out, and they should cut the ticket prices. Yeah, maybe, man. They're pretty cheap. Honestly, if I were there, I would probably go. I think I'm going to try and go next year. I think they were like $23 or something this year, $23, $30, depending where you wanted to sit. That's what I had heard. I hadn't checked them out because I didn't have the opportunity to go at all, whether the tickets were cheap or not. But yeah, it would help, right? And just help with the regular season game atmosphere as far as adding that to the preseason. And hopefully the fans would get pumped too, man. I don't know how. I've never been to a preseason game, so I don't know for the average preseason game how rowdy the fans get, because it's not really as much at stake. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Make sure it's sold out. Give out some free tickets. Do a giveaway, stuff like that. Get those fans in the stands, man. But I think that's pretty much it for the most part. We got Verrett on the injured reserve for now. He's going to miss those 4 weeks. Like I said, you guys keep an eye out, man. Keep an eye out. Keep an ear out. The 49ers are still making moves, obviously. Like I said, cut Trey Sermon. They cut him today. Got an offensive guard. Let's keep an eye on well, the thing is, I guess now these practices, we're not going to be having any beat writers or anybody in those practices. So now it's just a suspenseful wait till regular season for the most part, I think, man. So we're going to be on here with all the news we do here. I know we're going to have some kind of insider reports. I'm really happy about this Garoppolo thing. Let me know what you guys think about that. Like I said before, man, I had said, yes, in a perfect world, because there's a lot of things that people talk about, the negatives with keeping Garoppolo. Hey, it's going to negatively impact Trey Lance and his mental state as far as the locker room and all that, and as well as just the locker room and it getting split and all that. I know that some people were thinking that it was already split last year, like with Brandon Ayuk, that he was favoring Trey Lance already. But dude, at the end of the day, these guys, they're not playing for somebody else. They're playing for themselves, man. They're playing for their career, their legacy, their paycheck. So they're going to ball out regardless. Now, I know we saw, and we didn't hear about it till after, like we didn't officially really know until it was confirmed later on with the Harbaugh era when he made the switch from Alex Smith to Colin Kaepernick due to injury. A lot of players got split in the locker room because of that, because all the veterans were there with Alex Smith. They seen his progression in the team and in the offense as well, just in general, man. So that can happen. I think Kyle Shanahan was trying to avoid that, but it's almost unavoidable at this point. Like, what are they going to do? Just cut him, let him go for free, and then what? Yeah, we free up the cap space, but you get nothing in return for Garoppolo, and then who would we have kept? Would we have kept Sudfeld and Purdy? I think that would have been the case because we have been known to keep 3 quarterbacks pretty often, like when it was Garoppolo, CJ Beathard, and Nick Mullins. So I definitely like the insurance policy, especially with the trip option that they've been practicing. When that goes into the regular season, these linebackers are going to be taking free hits at Trey Lance. Don't think they're not, man. It's part of the game. If they get a free opportunity to just lay a hit on Trey Lance, they're going to. They want to wake him up. They want to impose their physicality. So if something happens, man, we have Garoppolo back there. But like I said, I like the way Purdy looks too. So the way they see Purdy progressing might play a big part in whether we trade Garoppolo during the season. Because I see a lot of things in Purdy that I don't think Garoppolo either can't do or just doesn't do anymore. So I see his ceiling being higher than what Garoppolo has been before. But Garoppolo has that quicker release, and the offensive line doesn't seem like so far that it is as good as in past years. So we might need that quick release from Garoppolo, right? And that's always been a key in beating the Rams. And we have to beat them. We have to whoop their ass, man. I've paid the same amount for preseason as I have for regular. Oh, that's ridiculous for regular season games. Oh, man. And I have seen some regular season games. I think the Seahawks one was $30. But some of them are pretty cheap, or they were pretty cheap. I don't know if they've gone up in price, but yeah, man, preseason games definitely should be like super cheap. But man, I think we should start a petition to get rid of that stadium. I've been to that stadium. I've been to Candlestick. Night and day, man. It's I was super bummed out when I found out they were going to get rid of Candlestick, and then to go to a game at Levi Stadium and just be super disappointed in the stadium. Like, it was advertised. It sounded pretty cool. They're like, oh, the first ever smart stadium and this and that. Yeah, man. It didn't seem like their development plan was very smart. It's super hot there. It's just I don't like it. We need to go back to the Bay, man. I like the way Candlestick was right on the ocean. That was badass, dude. You get to, oh man. I remember driving up and seeing it from the freeway, and it's just right next to the ocean, overcast days. Man, it's badass. But now I know they started the development, like talking about adding all this downtown type area to it. So that might, if depending how they listen to the fans, are they going to raise prices on tickets for that development, or to maybe one day bulldoze this stadium, cancel those plans, and move the stadium to Frisco? Seems like they're pretty set already, man. If they have these developments already in order, they might up the prices, especially with inflation, man. But what can we do as fans? What can we do? Start a petition. It just like how Brian's doing here. We're just talking about it, right? We need to lower those preseason ticket prices. Again, I didn't check the prices out because I couldn't go. But yeah, we have to definitely talk about it if we want to see something done. I think that played a part in us drafting Trey Lance instead of Mac Jones. I like Jimmy and Trey. Let's just go get a Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, man, if we keep them both through the whole season, man, I like our chances, man. I know the Rams, like, they talk a lot of smack. They get into all our 49ers channels and stuff and get in the comments and stuff like that, talking all this smack. We know at the end of the day, they're in our live streams because they're scared. That's why they're talking all this smack. Congratulations, you won one for the first time. Ooh, whatever. But yeah, bro, I agree with you, man. Let's get that Super Bowl. You can get cheap tickets. You just have to be willing to wait. Yeah. See, that's what I'm trying to do for the Raiders game as well. So I don't know if you saw the 49ers Raiders tickets when they went on sale were $550 for the cheapest ones. It's ridiculous, man. $550. Now, the last time I checked them, I think was yesterday or the day before, they're down to like $480, I think. So I'm just waiting it out, man. I think I'm just going to book my room ahead of time. Somebody else was talking about this. I think it was no. Who the hell was it? Maybe Rob Shue was talking about this. He's like, yeah, man, I just book my room and everything. I wait till the last minute. I just show up on game day and buy a ticket then and there because that's when they're dirt cheap. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. That's my strategy. Vegas is only it's less than 4 hours from me. And I have my cousin there, and Vegas is a good time in general. So I think I'm just going to book a room as early as possible and then just wait and get a ticket that day. Worst comes to worst, and I just watch the game at a big screen at a bar or something, right? That's my plan. But like you said, yeah, you have to be willing to wait sometimes. In a few years, they will move back. Dude, I hope so, man. Some people are I've heard some people talking about maybe in 20 years. That's way too long. God, man. See, we as fans, we have to get together and make sure it's like known, heard loud and clear that that we want to go back to SF, because if they continue with this development with all their stores and everything they want to add to the vicinity of the stadium, the Levi Stadium, then they're really going to dig their feet in deeper. And I don't know how far into that process they are already. I know they've shown like pictures of the what do you call it, like the concept art. So we need to move fast. We need to come up with some ideas on how to be heard. I think I'm going to post that to the 49ers for Life group in Facebook. Great America has been sold. Everything is in the works. Yeah, see, man, and I was bummed out about that because I grew up in that area. Brian, I forget. I don't think you told me where you stay at, but I'm from the area. I was and Santa were like an hour from where I grew up at. So we used to go there as kids. Not very often because usually we were broke, but once in a while, I think I got to go there like 2 or 3 times in my lifetime. And it's badass, man. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's really cool. They got like the Nickelodeon area and stuff like that where you get Slime Time and all. It's really cool. So it's very unfortunate to hear that that got closed down. And I know there was this kid that goes on Grant Cohn's channel too. I forget his name, but he worked at Great America. I don't know if they shut it down yet. But yeah, that was sad for me to hear. Just growing up and having it, that was like one of the only amusement parks in the area. Other than that, you have Raging Waters, the water park, and of course that's not open all year. And then you have probably the closest other things are like Disneyland and everything way down by LA, which is like a 7-hour drive or something. But fly planes over the stadium, move back to SF. Bro, I like that, man. Brian, I like the way you think. Bro. That might be the ticket. No, How will that go with the whole airspace type regulations? They'll probably ban us from all that. Just what do you call it? Skydive and land with a parachute right in the stadium with a big old banner. That's ridiculous. That'd be funny. If you can't make the game but are in Vegas, Mariah has a watch party. Mariah? Who's Mariah? I'm sorry. But yeah, like I said, man, like if worst comes to worst, could go watch it with some other Niner fans somewhere else, right? But man, yeah, I definitely, part of the reason I want to go is because, of course, I grew up in the Bay Area as well. I can't stand Raiders or Raider fans, and I just want to be there and help my team out as far as the leverage, as far as fans go, right? We want to see more Niner fans in there. So that's let me know who Mariah is. How can I find that and all that? Santa Clara County doesn't like the Niners. Man, I think they do. I think they do, man. I mean the whole area. I know they have a lot of like a big Asian fan base out there towards that way. But like just in general, man, the Niners, we're from the area in general. So like for California, for the most part, is Niners fans and Raider fans. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't think so. I think it's just, and I've heard this in sales as well. So a lot of times, like when people give reviews and stuff, you only hear bad things, right? Kind of like offensive linemen too. You don't really hear about them until they do something negative, until they mess up one play. That's when you start hearing about them. So I think that's kind of just probably what you're hearing from Santa Clara is just the negative people. All the Niner fans are just chilling, having a good time. It's all the non-Niner fans that have a big mouth, right? Like all of a sudden, these Rams fans got a pair of balls. I don't know where this came from, man. I have a bro that I've known since I lived in Madera, California, where I went to high school and graduated in 2010 by Fresno. And he was like the only Rams fan I ever knew in my life. And all of a sudden, this is the part that pissed me off, man. So during the playoff game, the NFC Championship, this motherfucker, dude, he records a video of himself watching the game, and he's talking to me. He sends it to me in the inbox on Instagram, and he's like, "Cheers, bro, good game." Like this is this is during the game. This wasn't after the game yet. So I'm like, "Yeah, bro, good game, man. This one's a butt clencher, and we're just sharing a good toast over the video camera or whatever. After the game, this motherfucker has the audacity to be in his Instagram story like, yeah, fuck the Niners. And he was talking all this shit, man. I was like, man. And then he tried to talk to me. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here with all that shit. All of a sudden, you want to talk all this smack. You were just toasting me in your video, like good sportsmanship and all this. Now you want to talk all this smack because you guys won by a cunt hair. Man, get out of here with that. Mariah Chardal. Great America will be open for another, I want to say 7 years. I hope so, man. I would love to be able to take my kids there before it closes down. They're young, really young. I want to be able to take them to Disneyland. I'm going to wait, though, till they actually know what's going on in the world. Maybe till they're like 5 or so. So I hope they're open for 7 years. I really hope so. Be able to take them there. Plus, it's like I said, I'm from that area. So if I get to take my kids there, we get to see family as well, hang out. So that's always good, right? It's really cool. I love going back to that area, like Monterey, California, going to the wharf. I grew up in that area. Big Sur, Santa Cruz, man, all those places are badass. I love my hometown area. I don't know, California. I don't want to get too political, but California is way too how do you say it? Like, you're getting way too political out there as far as getting in your business. Yeah, Santa Clara City Council. We got to do that as well, but I don't know, man. What would we do? Huh. We got to show up with posters. And it kind of sucks. I'm not in that area anymore. But yeah, we as fans, we got to get loud about that, man. We need to get the stadium back to San Francisco. We got 49er fans having heat strokes and shit over there in Santa Clara, man. We can't be having that during a game. You pay, and I don't know what's happened with the people that have had heat strokes in the stadium and stuff like that. Like, how far do they take it? Are they like, okay, you have like you get a like a VIP experience since you got a heat stroke in the stadium. Like, we're really sorry about the heat stroke, but here you go. You get a VIP backstage pass, all this, whatever. You get autographs from the team. I don't know. I wonder. I never looked into that. I should check that out. Shardall. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's that kid's name that works at Great America. Okay. You're right. Damn, Brian, you're on it, bro. You're like the Batman to my Robin. I appreciate you. But I think on that note, I'm gonna take off, bro. Everybody who tunes in, and I always forget to say this at the beginning of the videos, man. Please, guys, like and subscribe. Anybody who you think would be interested in the video and adding to the conversation, whether it's negative or positive, I don't care. I want the smoke, man. I'll give you smoke. I don't care. You guys, please just share the video, watch the videos, like them, subscribe. When you go to the bell button on the subscribe area, click it so that the options pop up for you getting all notifications of every video that I put up. Seems like Brian's done that, so yeah, man. You guys that tune in, I appreciate you. Please share and all that type of stuff, right? And like the video. I appreciate you guys. Brian Culp, great show. Thank you, bro. Likewise. Thanks, man. I always appreciate you, and look forward to talking more with you, man. I hope you have a great day, and we're gonna sign off on that note, man. You guys take care. Have a great day. Yeah.